Good evening. We are now focusing on Lesson 8. Lesson 8 in our Lessons in Adeptship. We are focusing on the two color bands that begin and complete our I am causal body, the blue ray and the white ray. We're talking about the full armor of God, the protection that comes from the blue ray of faith, and the exorcism that comes through the white ray of the Divine Mother, known as Mighty Astrea, the Elohim Astrea. It's important when we go out into the world that we put on the full armor of God. We never know when we might get tested. In fact, Mother Mary gives us an attunement call where she says, you want to make that call first thing in the morning. This call is published in the Summit Lighthouse Decree Book. She says, make that call first thing in the morning because you never know when you're going to get interrupted, disrupted, attacked, challenged, hurt, etc. We want to try and do that. There is also a master known as the Master Cusco who gave us a beautiful decree called the Count to 9 decree. He told us give that before you get upset as much as possible. I'm going to tell you this one right now so you can have it in your hip pocket like our beloved Mother Elizabeth Clare Prophet says. Come now, by love divine, guard thou this soul of mine. Make now my world all thine, God's light around me shine. I count 1, it is done, O feeling world, be still. 2 and 3, I am free, peace, it is God's will. I count 4, I do adore my presence all divine. 5 and 6, O God, affix my gaze on thee sublime. I count 7, come all heaven, my energies take hold. 8 and 9, completely thine, my mental world unfold. The white bar light now encircles me, all riptides are rejected. With God's own light around me bright, I am by love protected. I actually published this one on the website goldenageofaquarius.com, but you can also get it from the Summit Lighthouse Decree Book. It's a nice one, the Count to 9 decree. Now, the full armor of God means that we are invoking the presence of Archangel Michael every morning for at least 20 minutes a day. We can be giving a rosary to Archangel Michael. We can be giving the decree to Archangel Michael. There are several decrees to Archangel Michael that were dictated through Elizabeth Clare Prophet. We want to invoke the protection of God, the full protection of God every day, so that Archangel Michael has enough calling from us to be able to intervene when we need it. I've had multiple car accidents in my life, for example, and many other situations where had it not been for Archangel Michael, I would have been dead so many times over. And these are just the times that I can pinpoint. Archangel Michael tells us there are many other points in time in our life where he intervened and we didn't even know because we were giving the decree. I wanted to share a little story that happened with my son when my son was 4 years old. He was going to play with some friends, and we said to him in the car, you have to do your Archangel Michael traveling protection, which goes like this. Lord Michael before, Lord Michael behind, Lord Michael to the right, Lord Michael to the left, Lord Michael above, Lord Michael below, Lord Michael, wherever I go. I am his love protecting here, I am his love protecting here, I am his love protecting here. And we visualize Archangel Michael and his armor of light around us, just like we can visualize the armor of the seraphim around us. Well, my son made this little decree and then was dropped off to be with his friends. And then when I picked him up later that night, he was crying and he showed me his neck. And right on his neck, right here, right where it was right there, right on his neck, were 2 fang marks. He had received a dry bite from a rattlesnake that the kids had been playing in a ravine, and these snakes can hide in holes. And the snake had jumped out at him and literally bit him on the neck. It was what they call a dry bite, which snakes can sometimes do to scare off people. But it was definitely a rattlesnake bite. And when I took him to our family doctor, he said, do you realize what kind of a miracle that is? that he wasn't killed. I mean, a rattlesnake bite right there, right next to the head, he would have had no time. And that is just an example to me of how Archangel Michael came and protected him. I've had many incidents of protection, from when I was drowned in a river to multiple car accidents, very big ones with major semis and things, where the police would come to me and say, do you know how many people walk out alive from being hit by semis? And it was not once, but twice and thrice, right? And all kinds of other situations in my life where I know that I had tremendous protection from Archangel Michael. Earlier on in my life, I went through some very, very dangerous neighborhoods and places on the planet, and I was protected by God's grace. Now, one of the things that we do when we call to Archangel Michael is that we also ask that this decree be extended to loved ones and light bearers who might need an immediate transfusion of light from the captain of the Lord's host. So we're invoking it also for others. And whether it was after I started invoking Archangel Michael for myself or even before, I was granted this protection from God because God wanted my soul to come home in this life. So Archangel Michael is essential. He has a beautiful statue in Paris, by the way, Place Saint-Michel. And he has beautiful presences in churches all over the world. And he is the one who cast out Lucifer from heaven. And he knows what it's like to battle the dweller and the devil within and without. And he has pledged his undying fealty to each son and daughter of God that desires to make it home. And so when we call to him, we have his full commitment, absolute full commitment. We need to avail ourselves of that and give his blue flame decree at least 20 minutes a day. Now, we can give it for our children, our loved ones, the planet. We can send it to representatives in office, etc. And side by side with Archangel Michael's decree, we can call forth the decree to mighty Estrella, which I also published in the goldenageofaquarius.com as a reproduction. These decrees come from the Summit Lighthouse, and you can find them in the Summit Lighthouse decree book. And the Estrella calls for the circle and sword of blue flame of mighty Estrella, who is an Elohim of God, the Elohim of purity, the feminine aspect of the Elohim of purity. And she comes forth, and she calls herself the cosmic garbage collector, and she comes forth every time we give her decree, and she cuts us free from entities, demons, incarnates, force fields that would hold us back. She cleanses us spiritually and physically. And I actually wrote a song to her called Estrella Dear in songsofdivinelove.com. You can find it, Estrella Dear. 1,000 arms, 1,000 eyes are gazing at me from the skies. So I call to mighty Estrella through this song. I call to mighty Estrella through the decree. What's important is to every day make a call to be cut free of these lower planes, especially when we consider the popular music of this time, which most of it isn't even music, like rap, etc., and what the teenagers are into, and the drugs, including marijuana, and all of the various things that cloud the brains and the minds and the hearts of people. So we call for Estrella to come forth and help clean it up, clean up corruption wherever it is found. We call for Estrella. I'm going to now give her decree one time through so you can see what it's like, and I encourage you to visit the Summit Lighthouse to get more information. Visualize a beautiful circle and sword of blue flame around you now. O beloved Estrella, may God purity manifest here for all to see, God's divine will shining through, circle and sword of brightest blue. Come now, answer this my call, lock thy circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, blaze now, raise now, shine right through, cutting life free from patterns unwise. Burdens fall off while souls arise into thy arms of infinite love, merciful shining from heaven above. Come now, answer this my call, lock thy circle round us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, blaze now, raise now, shine right through. Circle and sword of its train now shine, blazing blue-white, my being refined, stripping away all doubt and fear. Faith and goodwill, patterns appear. Come now, answer this my call. Luck thy circle round us all. Circle and sword of brightest blue, blaze now, raise now, shine right through. Now we give it again for the youth, and then we're going to give it for mankind. So this is how it goes. Oh, belovedest ray, may God purity you, manifest here for all to see. God's divine will shining through, circle and sword of brightest blue. Come now, answer this my call. Luck thy circle round us all. Circle and sword of brightest blue, raise our youth now, blaze right through. Cutting life free from patterns unwise, birdful awful souls arise into the arms of infinite love, merciful shining from heaven above. Come now, answer this my call. Luck thy circle round us all. Circle and sword of brightest blue, blaze now, raise now, shine right through. Circle and sword of strain and shine, blazing white by being refined, stripping away all doubt and fear. Faith and goodwill, patterns appear. Come now, answer this my call. Luck thy circle round us all. Circle and sword of brightest blue, raise our youth now, blaze right through. Circle and sword of straight and shine, blazing white by being refined, stripping away all doubt and fear. Faith and goodwill, patterns appear. Come now, answer this my call. Luck thy circle round us all. Circle and sword of brightest blue, raise our youth now, blaze right through. Now, when we go to mankind, I'm going to actually accelerate this decree very fast. I showed you the pattern. This is how we accelerate a decree, and it's something you can learn to do also. As you practice your decrees, you start slow and then they become accelerated. It's like the angel self in you. The acceleration of your chakras takes over, and you can give it an accelerated pace, which greatly increases the power of the decree. Oh, beloved, stream, may God purity, manifest here for all to see. Gather my will, shine through, circle and sword of brightest blue. Come now, answer this my call. Like that circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, blaze and raise and shine right through. Cut your break from past the wise, where will love souls arise in the arms of infinite love, mercy for heaven, heaven above. Come now, answer this my call. Like that circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, raise my kind, shine right through. Circle and sword of rain and shine, blazing white and being fine, strip away all doubt and fear, feeling will, patterns appear. Come now, answer this my call. Like that circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, raise my kind, shine right through. Oh, beloved, stream, may God purity, manifest here for all to see. Gather will shine through, circle and sword of brightest blue. Come now, answer this my call. Like that circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, blaze and raise and shine right through. Come now, breathe from as wise, word of love, souls arise in the arms of heaven, love, mercy, heaven, heaven above. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, blaze and raise and shine right through. Circle and sword of rain and shine, blazing white and being fine, strip away all down and fear, faith and will, men's appear. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, blaze and raise and shine right through. All beloved, they be happy, manifest here for all to see. Gather will shine through, come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. Come to read about the white, word of love, and all the rise in the arms of heaven, love, heaven, heaven, heaven above. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. There is the word of the rain, and I wait, white, and being fine, strip away all down and fear, faith and will, men's appear. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. All beloved, they be happy, manifest here for all to see. Gather will shine through, circle and sword of brightest blue. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. Come to read about the white, word of love, and all the rise in the arms of heaven, love, heaven, heaven above. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. There is the word of the rain, and I wait, white, and being fine, strip away all down and fear, faith and will, men's appear. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. All beloved, they be happy, manifest here for all to see. Gather will shine through, circle and sword of brightest blue. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. Come read about the white, word of love, and all the rise in the arms of heaven, love, heaven, heaven above. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. There is the word of the rain, and I wait, white, and being fine, strip away all down and fear, faith and will, men's appear. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. All beloved, they be happy, manifest here for all to see. Gather will shine through, circle and sword of brightest blue. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. Come to read about the white, word of love, and all the rise in the arms of heaven, love, heaven, heaven above. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. There is the word of the rain, and I wait, white, and being fine, strip away all down and fear, faith and will, men's appear. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. All beloved, they be happy, manifest here for all to see. Gather will shine through, circle and sword of brightest blue. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. Come read about the white, word of love, and all the rise in the arms of heaven, love, heaven, heaven above. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. There is no word of the rain, and I wait, white, and being fine, strip away all down and fear, faith and will, men's appear. Come now, answer this my call. Like a circle around us all, circle and sword of brightest blue, breathing in the rain through. Did the decree 3 times, the whole decree, 3 with 3 verses each, so 9 times. The decree is printed in the Summit Lighthouse Decree Book 1014. It's also printed. I put it on the Golden Age of Aquarius site at the end of the site so that people can see it. You're calling for the Starry Mother. You're calling for Mighty Estrella. as I'm doing it, as I'm accelerating the speed with my voice, which obviously takes a little bit of time. You don't do that overnight. You have to practice and you get there. You really do get there. Maybe in a couple months, even if you try regularly. Then you can start visualizing with your mind. It's like your mouth and your voice are doing one thing and your third eye is doing another thing. And then you put the love of your heart in, so it becomes a threefold action where you're actually invoking the light. And I started to feel heat. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's hot, but the decree is literally activating things within my aura. And it's a purifying action. Now, every decree can be accelerated like this by flame decrees, Archangel Michael decrees, Estrella decrees. This is the accelerated form of the decree. And it becomes like a circle and sword action. And Mighty Estrella told us that with every round of Estrellas that we give, we can cut free 1,000,000 souls or more. So we can also always call for the multiplication of our decrees by the host of light. God can take anything and multiply it, right? It's better to give something to God that is a quality offering and let them multiply it than to do a whole bunch of stuff shoddily. So we want to give the masters, the angels, the best quality we can, and then ask them to multiply it 1,000,000,000 times over. I'm going to call now my mighty omnipresence Holy Christ Self, Archangel Michael, to multiply this 1,000,000,000 times over. With Mighty Estrella, I call for this entire planetary home and every life bearer upon it to receive the action of Mighty Estrella right now that I have invoked. And I ask for this action to be sustained by the power of the Christ and the collective Christ consciousness of each and every individual on this planet, that it be sustained eternally until this entire planetary body be ascended in the light and free. According to God's will, let it be done. In Jesus' name, amen. See, this is how we start doing the alchemy work of the science of the spoken word. And so there's a lot more we can say about that, but I will refer you back to the book by Mark and Elizabeth Clare Prophet, The Science of the Spoken Word, and I just demonstrated it to you. There are the speed of decrees, and then there were, of course, the fiats that we gave in different formats. And so we want to ask Mighty Estrella to clean up our aura, and we ask Archangel Michael to protect our aura so that we are more and more clean and able to operate through the world in a clean way. In the East, they call Shiva. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Shiva is the destroyer aspect of the Holy Spirit. Shiva comes to destroy everything that is not of the light. Now, one last thing I'd like to say about Archangel Michael and Mighty Estrella both is that they have encouraged us to use stainless steel knives or swords. And of course, it's better if it's blunt so that you don't hurt yourself, but otherwise you do it carefully. Stainless steel is a knife that entities that are invisible but still very much there on the astral plane do not like. The stainless steel action actually cuts through the entities. They actually feel pain when you use a stainless steel knife. And so when I would go into hotel rooms that felt very dark and dense, I would take the sword with me, or even a kitchen knife, anything that was made of stainless steel. I could make the call for the sword of Archangel Michael be placed over the knife, even if it was a little table knife, if I didn't have a sword with me. And you basically use the sword and you cut free. And if you have no knife in you, then you can ask Archangel Michael and your Christ self for the sword in your heart to be wielded to cut free the room or the place that you're in. It's very important, especially in hotel rooms, sleeping in other people's beds, etc., to make the calls for the cutting free, the purifying of that room. And also I've noticed it's very important around children, even like my little granddaughter comes in and she's full of energy from her preschool. If I take a sword and I cut her free, it makes a big difference. If you take a sword and cut yourself free on the aura, you can literally take the sword and go behind your neck. And there's entities often like to attach on the nape of the neck. They also often like to attach on the heels of the feet. So we want to make sure that we put the sword behind our heels and nape of the neck, and then different aspects through our chakras. And again, it doesn't have to be a sharp sword, but it needs to be stainless steel. And you can even find them online. There are also Eastern Buddhic daggers, like Vajra daggers that you can find. Same kind of action. It's to cut free in the physical plane our physical being from invisible, astral, parasitical energy fields and consciousnesses that are not of the light and that sap us of our light, our energy, our health, and so forth. So if we have Archangel Michael's armor on, we're much less likely to attract them, and if we clean up with Muddy Estrella and use the sword, then we can be squeaky clean. So that is my lesson here on the full armor of God. God bless you.